Welcome everyone to this new video of the section theory. As you noticed, I have a beautiful polo, white. I hope it's not going to get dirty quickly. I want to say thanks for an opportunity that I had to participate to an event organized by Nature Line. It's an important distributor in Malta, and also that was promoting the Molino Casillo products. This video is not sponsored by them, I want to be clear on this, but because I received a polo for free, I love those kind of things, those gadgets, I'm going to wear for this video. If you want to do the same, just send me your polo and will be used for the next videos. So today we are going to speak about hydration. My suggestion is, if you didn't watch yet the previous video that was speaking about Baker's percentage, my suggestion is to have a look of that video. I'm going to put a link here. So I'm switching now to the slide deck and let us cover this subject, hydration. As I showed in the previous video, there was an example of a simple recipe. In this case, I'm taking only flowers and water, okay, from that recipe. It's not a complex recipe. And the idea was, while showing the Baker's percentage, to calculate the hydration, and of course it is based on the amount of flour. So by definition, we say that the amount of flour of our recipe is representing the 100%. And in this case, for example, we have the water that is 350. So we need to use the proportion. We are saying that 500 grams of flour is to 100%, the percentage, and as 350 grams is to X percent. If you remember from the school, you need to multiply the 100 times 350 divided by 500, and we are going to get the 70% of hydration. This is the calculation when you already know the water, but let us say that we are going to make a new recipe, and in that case, if we want to calculate how much water, knowing the hydration, we will use the formula saying that the flour times the hydration percentage is equal to the water. So in this case will be 500 times 70 divided by 100, that is equal to 350, or we can simplify this division here, 70 divided by 100, like 0.7. One more thing I want to show you, it is the calculator that I have in my website. I'm going to switch again the view. So this is my website. If you never had access, it is bakingwiththeory.com. There is a version in English and in Italian. If you are connecting with a browser from in English, automatically we will start in English. If you want to change the language, you can change it from here. Going to calculators, I have one of the calculator. It is hydration percentage calculator. Now let us imagine that we have a recipe, and in this recipe we know exactly what is the amount of flour and what is the amount of water. Now the example that is shown here is simple, but let us say that we have, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 grams of flours, and we have 4 to 5 of water. As you can notice, automatically this is calculating what is the amount of hydration. Remember, it's good to know the hydration if you want to scale your recipe, and also to be consistent. One of the most important things is to scale all your ingredients in order to recreate the same products, okay? This is only the technical part that we are covering now. But when we speak about hydration, okay, if we make calculation simple based on 1 kilo of flour, of course 70% of hydration means 700 grams of water. But we need to make some consideration why we need to know what is the hydration of our recipe. So the first consideration is this, that higher hydration, it is equal to faster fermentation. This is well known because having more water, all the enzymes, proteins and whatever it is in our dough will move freely and faster inside our dough. So the fermentation time will be reduced, will go faster. Second consideration is that higher hydration means lower cooking temperature, because of course we need more time to dry our product. That means longer cooking time. So this is straightforward. And here I'm reporting an example. Now the example, remember, I'm using a percentage that I use in my website, and you can change them. But what I want to show here is, for example, the classical Napolitan pizza, that usually it's around 62% of hydration, usually it's cooked with a high temperature. So we are talking about 450 degrees. And of course, it's taking 60-90 seconds. It's really aggressive. While a modern Napolitan that is with higher hydration will require a lower temperature, in this case 370 degrees, and the cooking time will be around 2-3 minutes. Third consideration is this: different hydration means different product, so different result. Don't think that if you just add more water to your recipe, you will get the same result. It will be different. And here I have some example of different round pizza style, okay? For example, the Roman that has a low hydration, like 56. The classic Napolitan that is usually 62. A Barese, for example, that I'm working on this recipe recently, that is I'm using 65%, and the modern Napolitan is 75. So all of them, except they have a different way to be prepared. But let us imagine that we are making a direct method to make the dough. Using different hydration, we will have different products. That is quite clear. The fourth consideration, it is something that don't be really focused on this, okay? But I wanted to include because nobody speaks about this. And I want to be a bit a pioneer of this, okay? So higher hydration means less flour. So if you are putting more water, considering the same size of the dough, of course we are putting less flour, because there is more water and the weight of the dough is the same. That, in one sense, means less calories. And why I'm saying this? I want to make some consideration and some calculation. I don't want really that when you eat a pizza you have to focus on the number of calories, otherwise you don't enjoy the product, okay? But I want to make some consideration on different style of pizza, okay? So let us take in consideration this table, where I'm saying that the Barese has a dough that is of 120 grams. The Roman has a dough of 180 grams. The classic Napolitan has a dough of 260 grams. And the modern Napolitan, I'm considering at this moment the same, 260 grams. Now, calculating the hydration, the same numbers that I used in the previous slide, what I'm doing is applying this hydration. I'm calculating how much flour I have based on the size of the dough. So you can see that for the Barese we have 73 grams, for the Roman we have 115 grams, for the classic Napolitan we have 160 grams, and for the modern Napolitan, in this case, as you can notice, for example, the size of the dough is exactly the same, but because we are changing the hydration, we are reducing the amount of the flour. Now, I want to be correct on this. More often, the person, when they are making modern Napolitan pizza, they are making a dough a bit bigger. That means that if, for example, we use a dough of 280 grams, well, the difference in this case, there is no difference anymore. The same amount of flour, exactly. Now, let us take in consideration the calories of these different pizzas. The notes, as you can notice at the bottom, I'm considering the flour, an average of 350 kilocalories per 100 grams, okay? I'm considering olive oil. I will show you soon when I'm putting the olive oil, okay? I don't put olive oil in all of them, okay? But I'm considering 900 kilocalories per 100 grams. Then, the yeast, I'm not considering any kilocalories, because remember, it will be minimal amount and minimum calories. And malt or sugar is omitted because, I mean, you don't have to put in the product. Now, personally, I use oil in the Barese and in the Roman. In all the Napolitan, I don't put oil. I use an oven that is with gas, it's quite aggressive, and I don't want it will burn any of that oil. But for the Barese, the Roman, I'm using low temperature, and I'm putting some oil because I need to stretch it. Will help me to stretch it. Now I'm considering 2.25%. That means 1.6 grams of oil. So this means that I have extra 15 kilocalories. So I need to add the calories from this amount. I need to add the one of the oil, and I'm doing the same for the Roman. I don't want to be really mathematical on this, but this is the result. Why I'm showing this result is not to confuse you, okay? I don't want to start a new trend, but I want to share a personal experience. I've been on diet multiple times in my life, and every time the doctor, the first thing that say, stop eating pizza. Then when I say I love to make pizza, I want to make pizza, well, the doctor say, okay, but you can have once a week, you can have half pizza without cheese. Remember, those numbers of calories are without considering any topping. So here we are talking only about the dough. But you can notice, and you can appreciate on this, that while when I'm eating a modern Napolitan, I'm around over 500 calories. If I will eat a Roman or a Barese, especially the Barese because it's quite interesting, this is half of the calories. That means, okay, it is super thin and is crusty, it's crunch, okay? The kind of pizza is totally different of the Napolitan. But sometimes with your eyes, when you see a whole pizza, and we are talking about 32-35 centimeters, so normal size of the pizza, maybe could be a logic to say, you know what, rather than eat half of the Napolitan, I will eat a whole pizza of the Barese, still maintaining the same number of calories. I hope this is not going to disturb anyone, but give me your opinion in the comments. I will be happy to discuss and not argue with you, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye.